let's speak a little bit about efficiency in Trills, because this is a painful topic for many students. And for those who are new on this channel, I would like to remind you that, first of all, I do teach online, so you can contact me following the link in the description. And also, I have comprehensive courses, a part of countless videos on this YouTube channel. I have a comprehensive course on basics of piano technique that you might find also following the link in the description. So, when we play trills, there are a few things that we have to consider. First of all, we can play them using different bodily parts. For example, we can play trills only with fingers, and this works fine for shorter trills that are played on pianos with a very light action. So when you need some really short trill, like 3 notes or something, it's possible to play them using just very short, very light finger movements. And even though it helps to use a momentum, so approaching such trill from above, like that, and uniting shorter finger movements with forearm movement in the keyboard. But in most of cases, you will find out that you are getting tired quite quickly when you play trills with your fingers. On the keyboards with a lighter action, like this one, for example, it doesn't really work that well. You can't play them freely and quickly. Because of that, we have to consider that we can also play trills using a forearm rotation, which works best if we play trills not with the neighbor fingers, but skipping a finger. For example, not 3-2, but 1-3 or 4-2. This allows us to have a finger that works as an axis of a forearm rotation. So we kind of rotate around the second finger, for example, which makes it possible to work less with the fingers and have enough release in a trill. And then, of course, in order to develop dexterity, in order to develop this ability to move fingers fast, we might try to work on trills grouping them. So at first, for example, just 3 notes. But whenever you play a group, you have to play it on one movement, releasing the fingers right after the group. So you work properly with the fingers, rotating the hand, rotating the forearm very quickly, and playing a group on one momentum, like throwing the hand to the keyboard, but then quickly releasing the hand and not pulling off the fingers again after the group, like that. And this method allows you to build up reflexes without compromising the quality, because you work on a shorter group. You can concentrate on it better, and you have enough time afterwards to reflect. How was it? Did I feel myself comfortable? Did it sound precise or not? And you start from a lower note, and then from upper note, always approaching the keyboard with an absolutely relaxed hand and focusing fingers right at the moment of the impact with the keys. And releasing the fingers, and you don't pull off. This is wrong. This is correct. Okay, so always staying close to the keys. And then groups of 5 notes. But same thing, same sensation. If you want to practice with neighbor fingers, absolutely same thing. Like fingers 3-2. But your task is at first to feel the bottom of the key, because as harder the action of the piano is, and usually modern pianos, they usually have quite a heavy action anyway, because older pianos like 19th century pianos or 18th century pianos, they were very light, and they allowed people to play trills like doing barely nothing. But these modern pianos, they are quite heavy, which is necessary for some other tasks. But in things like trills, of course, it makes life a bit harder. And the way to play trills efficiency is to establish a good connection with the bottom of the key. So your primary task is to play them in a comfortable tempo, but controlling that you can transfer the weight between fingers, having enough support without pushing the key, but nevertheless having a gentle support and feeling the bottom of the key in each finger and just transferring the weight between fingers. And you have to really concentrate on that rolling around sensation and stability and support in each finger. And then at first finding support in each finger. And then when you play a group, you have one leaning note, like the first one, and other two notes, they are kind of inertia. Down, up, releasing the hand. So when you have extremely quick trill, like that one, you usually have just one leaning point somewhere in the beginning, and the rest of it you play lighter, just kind of exiting, like that, because you can't play with a good support very quickly. But nevertheless, it's useful to practice with a good support in each finger in a moderate tempo. So practicing slower with a good support, and when you play faster, just one leaning point per group. And then when you play longer groups, your wrist should be able to gently bounce a bit higher, a bit lower, higher, lower. So it's like 8 notes on movement down, 8 notes on movement up, for example. You don't count them, just moving around a little bit. Then please remember that in most of cases, trills don't have to be extremely quick. For example, in Mozart sonata, you don't really need this trill faster than that. It's faster than 16 notes, and that's already enough. And in most of cases, we play free trills in Mozart, so we don't really synchronize them in any way. We just play them consistently somehow. But in Mozart also, it's acceptable to stop the trill right before the exit in order to make this exit out of the trill sound really precise. So you can play like that. Stop on the third 16 note, stop, pa-pa-pam. Like that. This is acceptable in Mozart. Another thing that is important to remember is whenever you play a trill in a context, for example, you play a melody in the same sonata, and then you have a trill. And this is one line, for example, legato. It's important to release the hand right before approaching the trill. So after taking the G, you release the hand immediately. You still hold the note, but you release your wrist and you go a little bit higher. So that gives you an opportunity to play the whole trill that is coming on one movement, like one momentum. Free up, and then focus fingers and make one smooth motion with the hand. Because if you stay tense here, you will feel stuck. You will really feel uncomfortable here. That's why always freeing up the hand before any kind of mordant or trill or any kind of embellishment, because it helps you to free up the hand and for focusing it again for the next task. So in general, in Bach, in Mozart and Beethoven, trills should not be really quick. And even in Chopin, many trills are not really quick. For example, in the beginning of the A flat major valse, this trill should give us the sensation of swimming around, bouncing around, or flying around. So it should not bring us stressful sensation of working too hard. Yeah, that's why many trills don't have to be quick. And a universal rule is that as slower the piece, as more lyrical or charming the piece is, as slower the trills are. So, for example, in Bach, when you play a slow movement, slow piece, you don't play trills too fast. When you play something really fast, really virtuoso, brilliant, then your trills also should be faster. So this is a general rule to consider. And of course, in most of cases, you can choose yourself how long your trills should be. So if you see a trill mark, you can choose depending on the spot, depending on the character you want to transmit, and depending on your technical capabilities, you can make a slower trill, less turns, for example, playing just that, or using or making more turns, for example. But nevertheless, the most important is how smoothly it sounds, and in most of cases we have to avoid accents on trills if the trill is an embellishment. If its purpose to embellish the melody, like in this case, we just have a descending line. In this case, we can't accent the trill. It would ruin our legato. That's why it's better to play less turns, but play it smoothly, providing a good sensation of legato, rather than playing it faster, making more turns of this trill, but ruining legato. I hope that these tips were helpful. If you like what I'm doing and you want to support me, you can always subscribe to my Patreon, and depending on your pledge, you can also get some perks in return and have some access to an exclusive content, backstage content, some articles, and other things that I share in this private and very exclusive community. For a more comprehensive advice, watch some other my videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and of course contact me for a lesson if you are interested in a personalized approach. Have fun playing piano, and see you next time.